transition offense seemed to be. That sums it up. What did you see there, just in getting out on fast breaks?
I thought we were trying to play fast. It looked to me that we were trying to generate easy baskets, and we need to play that way, but there's got to be a poise about us in transition. There were some costly turnovers, just careless turnovers that I'll go back and watch the film, but just some costly turnovers in transition. We got to be more poised in those moments. There's a balance between playing fast, frenetic, and poised. We got to find that balance. We can't give up on not playing fast. Say we're just going to slow this down. We got to be opportunistic there. You get a stop, you get a steal, you got to go convert. But we can't go turn it over and send it back the other way. You know, we get the game down to 4 right into the second. A couple of costly turnovers. They go down layup. You know, those are costly. They were shooting it well enough. They didn't need the extra help, you know, on the turnover stuff. So, and you know, they made a ton of shots there in the first quarter. But I thought we battled back. Second quarter, we held them to 17. Had some momentum there. I think it was an 8-0 run. I think they were at 9 points for the quarter. You know, so there was some momentum there. Third quarter, 24. We only lost the quarter by 2, but some costly turnovers again. So that's on me. We got to execute. We got to be better in those situations and grow from this.
And you talked pregame about just how difficult it is to prepare for that offense.
Yeah.
And then you add on Moses Moody catching fire there in the first quarter. How much of that was just kind of confusion on defense or lack of communication? What did you kind of see?
It was probably a little bit of both. He got hot. He knocked him down. We were trying to make him a driver on all those. Like he should have gotten 0 threes tonight. That was the goal with Moody. Unfortunately, we didn't execute that. You know, so a little bit of coverage breakdown, urgency, awareness to get to him. We've got a lot of work to do on the three-point line. Now, they expose you. This is what they do. You know, they make you feel like, you know, you're playing a little bit of pee-wee ball out there at times. They can do that to you. They're an excellent team. And it doesn't get any easier tomorrow night, another juggernaut coming in. So we got to stay poised and limit those opportunities for shooters like that.
And Derek Queen gets his first career start tonight. I guess what did you kind of see from him when he was out there?
Yeah, I thought, you know, I'll go back and watch the minutes, but, you know, we were asking a lot of him in that defensive coverage tonight. It's, you know, this is a unique team where you got to be up in the pick and roll and you got to trap and get back and rotate, make plays at the rim, rebound, run against them. There's a lot to this game, and tomorrow this is going to be the same thing. But I thought he executed. He stayed in the game. I got to watch the game to you know, to give you a little bit more. But he's, you know, he's a talented young man, and we need his scoring. We need his playmaking. I think we were so sped up that we probably didn't utilize him enough in the half court offensively. So we'll look at that again tomorrow.
You've been here for a few years, but this being your first game as the head coach, were there things that you noticed in this seat that, like, okay, this is something that is more urgent that we need to change? Or?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. Not letting one play become 2, 3, 4. We got to keep our heads up, our spirits up. That's the real challenge for this team right now. Can we move on from one play to the next? Can we not let one bad turnover, one bad play turn into 3 or 4 heads down, dry possessions? We all know the best teams in this league are able to move on from possession to possession, go execute. Steph Curry's going to hit threes. Moody's going to hit threes. What do we do in the next possession? Can we have poise? We're playing 2 rookies right now, right? This is a very young roster that we're putting out there right now. When you're talking about the starting point guard and the starting center being rookies, that's our room for growth. Can we do that? The vets have to help us in that area. And it's more of a resilient spirit that you can go from a bad possession and go create and be good on the next possession. And then we got to take care of the careless turnovers. I think I just feel that. Like there's no play. You just got to, in the heat of battle, go make plays. It's something that I felt there tonight that we got to clean up.
I know this isn't the result that you wanted, but you mentioned yesterday there's 30 of these in the NBA. So to be back in the seat tonight, just what did it feel like?
Yeah, you know, it's a special opportunity to be out there with these guys, fighting, competing. I don't take that for granted. And, you know, the blood was flowing, the energy was high. I felt like I just played a game. As I always tell people, you know, being a head coach at probably any level, but especially at this level, it's as close to playing that I have ever experienced. I haven't played in many years, just so you know. I haven't, I don't know, the last time I, played in a real game was, I don't know, 25 years ago, But this is the closest thing. You feel alive out there, and these guys are great. We got a lot of work to do, but that's the beauty in this job. Like, you come back to work and you go at it again the next day, and I would, there's no other place I'd rather be. I'm in the arena, man, fighting, scrapping, clawing. So it's a good experience to be out there.
While we're talking about the rookies a little bit, it seemed like Fears was going through some growing pains early on in the game. You take him out for a minute, talk to him, send him back out. He's talking to Jose out there. What did you see from him, trying to grow and understand your offense?
It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of decision-making out there for the young fella. And me. We're both going through it, trying to figure, him out. And you got to give him a little bit of rope to go play and experience it, and then help him, call stuff for him, let him go. This is just going to be, growing pains along the way, and he's going to have success, and he's going to have some tough nights and tough plays, and he's got to bounce back from that. But he's a tough kid. He's a resilient kid. He's a confident kid. He absorbs information, which I love. When you're talking to him, he absorbs information. Guys I've coached that don't always receive that well in the heat of battle. He does that, and he can execute. So, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, you're playing against Steph Curry and, one of the greatest to ever do it, and you got to go execute and then go back and guard him. There's a lot to that. But I thought he handled himself well tonight, and we just got to keep plugging. He gets another challenge tomorrow.
You were just talking about the young players not letting it kind of snowball. Did you feel or see anything with Fears after he had that turnover right at the end of the half when he went back in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, he's hard on himself just like anybody. He felt it. It's a 4-point game, and they go on an 8-0 run with a couple turnovers, and you feel the weight of that. As a competitor, as he is, he feels responsibility. I walked the tunnel with him, and he was extremely frustrated. The challenge is, okay, let that go. Let's come out in the third quarter. That's behind us. Let's move forward. If you watch a Steph Curry film, he's not worried about the last play. He's on to the next one. He's been doing this for how many years, and he's had success doing it. So that's the goal, is to get the mindset there. We're going to make mistakes, but move on to the next play and don't let it become 2 or 3.
There was a big differential at the three-point line tonight. Obviously, sometimes teams are going to get hot and they'll make a lot of shots, but what do you see in terms of making up just the attack differential? You guys didn't crack 30 tonight. I know previously it's been one of the team goals to get more quality looks up. Just what can be done to help, I guess, achieve some of those goals?
Yeah, it's gonna come out of the form of, we need more in our transition game. We got to find a couple more there in transition, just like they're doing. We got to find more there in transition. Our drive kick game's got to be better. I think a lot of that is, get downhill, share it a little bit more, kick it a little bit more. You need rim pressure, and our cheat code to that was not playing tonight. Their cheat code to that play tonight, and he creates gravity for their entire offense. When he was out of the game tonight, as you were watching the game, it was a different offense. It's not a coincidence. It's just the reality of this game. So getting Z back's going to help shrink the floor, put 2 on the ball so we can kick out and play some more. Until then, we got to generate them, in transition and in drive and kick game. Obviously, they got hot. They got hot from 3. We could have been better there, but I think it's going to come in that form of a driving kick, a transition, and then a little bit of Z's gravity. We want to get to 40. That's the goal.
There were moments in I guess, more so in the second quarter and later on in the game. You guys find some success with Queen as a hub, with cutters and some side movement stuff. Are you guys hoping to lean more and more into that as he grows comfortable and sees valuable game-like reps and stuff?
Yeah, he's definitely a hub. He's definitely a hub that we want to play through. So for me, it's finding this balance of playing fast, aggressive, which we want to do, and then playing this sort of half-court game through Queen a little bit, right? We're trying to find this balance. Fears wants to play fast, get downhill. That's his strength, especially when you put some speed around him. Murphy's trying to play fast. I thought, as I go back and watch, I think we're going to see a lot of pace to our game. We were trying to play extremely fast, sometimes frenetic at times. And then balancing that with playing through Queen in the half court, that's where we want to get to. And obviously Z can do both. He can play transition and a hub. So the beauty is we have these two hubs that we got to figure out and play together.
Do you have any past teams, historical teams that you kind of look at as a reference where they've had success in balancing that half court but also playing fast type of style that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think Denver's a nice comp. The Joker early on was not a high-paced, if I remember correctly, and I'd have to go back, you know, my memory is he was not a high-paced transition-type player when he got in this league. You know, they may have just probably outran him and played, you know, beyond him. He has picked up his pace. Like, he plays with them in transition. And I think Quinn can do this off the bounce. He rebounds it. He brings it off the break. He kicks it ahead. There's some similarities there. I think getting him to play with more pace, similar to like the Joker has done, you know, with those pieces around him. And then in the half court, he still continues to be utilized. And that's my job, is to utilize him more in the half court while still figuring out how do we play fast with pace. But I think that's probably the closest thing is a Denver type. And they're playing extremely fast right now.
You said pregame he was a game time decision. Any idea about, you know, his availability tomorrow?
Nothing yet. No. I'll find out more about where he's at, but I think we're close on him. You know, whether it's, you know, next game or the next couple of games, I don't know. It feels like we're close, so I'm hopeful for that. Until then, we got to hold down the fort.
Hey, Coach, in the back, you pointed to the second quarter. Excuse me, you pointed to the second quarter earlier. Jose comes off the bench, drops nearly 20 points, but seemed like he was also able to help slow Golden State down as well. Can you just kind of speak to what you saw from him?
Yeah, I thought he was great. He really turned that game. He comes in, I don't know what the game was, but it was, you know, they were hot. He came and made some big shots, big plays. He did the Jose thing and turned it with his energy, and he's hard on himself. He's kicking himself right now for a couple of those turnovers, but I thought he was great to get us back in that game, made shots, made plays, and we're going to rely on him. I think he's a great, you know, mentor and partner there for Fears. So I was really proud of his effort tonight. Good. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.